This is a concept that can possibly happen in the upcoming GTA 6 and online as well. It will be mainly the discussion about empire building in GTA 6 as well as money laundering concept, so I hope you will enjoy this one. Subscribe for more exciting videos on the daily basis. Thank you and let's go. Empires reimagined. So for this concept, we wanted to establish a meaningful grasp on what it's like to gain and lose power in a city and what that could feel like for the player. It was inspired by a few select medias for authenticity and dramatization purposes, but ends up being on par with what we've also seen in a GTA that Outlaw Online. Legal businesses, coffee shops, restaurants, local stores, mom and pop, 24/7, etc. Dinners, clubs, nightclubs and strip clubs, casinos, laundromat, important garage, car wash, and banks. Legal businesses used for money laundering, all of the above, churches, pawn shops. And illegal businesses are protection, rackets and loan sharking, prostitution, assassination, hitmen, gun running, stash houses, crack dens, weed plantation, math lab, cocaine production, acid lab, heroin production, pills and wildlife tracking. Also, the territories and the market share. Illegal businesses cannot be bought the same way as a legal business. Either the player has to build on a vacant property or they have to take over a business from a criminal gang. Taking over a business will lower the gang's opinion of you and they will try to take it back. Building a business requires money and time to set up, but the player is less likely to be attacked by rival gangs during that process. There are multiple sizes of businesses to choose from. Bigger is more expensive and takes longer to build, but it will be more profitable. Upgrading afterwards is possible but expensive and takes time as well. The entire map is split up into territories. Small towns are a single territory and big cities, Vice City and Port Calhoun, are split up into the multiple territories. Each city district is one territory. In this case, owning all properties in territory will make your faction control that territory. Controlling a territory leads to you not having any competition by rival gangs in that area, thus increasing revenue. After acquiring a property, it is marked as part of your territory and on the market share. You can view a menu when inside of the property to see your influence across the map. Market share is increased when you have multiple of the same property running or when many NPCs are utilizing your service. Active businesses, frequent jobs, taking down enemy gang members. In online, there is a large market share system spanning over the entire player base. Territories are user-based and can vary based on the personal progress and achievements in the criminal underworld. Each player will be different, and larger organizations across the global market share receives bonuses over time, and joining various organizations can provide minor benefits if the player ever chooses to go independent at any period. This encourages players to expand and grow their own businesses for those bonuses as well. Next up, partnerships and gang wars. When you begin to put a dent in the market, you will be offered a partnership from a gang you haven't fought previously, or a war declaration from organizations you constantly deal with. This can occur at any time of the playthrough as the business is active and lasts for a few in-game weeks, as this likelihood of these war declarations is determined on how much market share you have, and it is possible to have two gangs partnership against you at a certain point, but this is all determined on your stance and overall power in the market. Partnerships lead to lucrative opportunities as they can begin with something small such as purchasing merchandise from another organization to sell elsewhere or protecting their men when the gang deal goes wrong. Some organizations can offer unique weapons, bodyguards, or liveries for vehicles, as the quality and usage of these partnerships benefits can vary as they also correspond with their market share. Also, smuggling process. The heart of this operation, a constant stream of inventory, whether they be volatile bombs or high-powered rifles. 2 kilos of cocaine and marijuana must be gathered with different methods to source out each. Drugs can be sourced through the various missions, free roam, events regarding stash houses manufactured or purchased wholesale from a gang whom the player is not currently fighting with. Gangs will not have every type of drug on them at once. Some will prioritize heroin, others methamphetamine methamphetamine, etc., but their market share will be affected respectively to the amount purchased by the player. Over time, they will regain their stock again. Manufacturing drugs is a time-consuming process for beginners, but also cost-efficient. Certain drugs can start off in a modified vehicle, a property, a laboratory, or a farm based on the budget the player has. Some will require two prerequisite properties such as farm and a lab. Ingredients can be purchased online or from stores, then once they are in, they are automatically available for production when the player returns to their spot. Product will then be accrued and stored in warehouses. Weapons manufacturing works in a similar fashion to grant it out to online, steal or purchase parts, then production starts on its own once delivered, and weapon types can now be made varying from long arms, short arms, and explosives. Sourcing these types can be difficult or easy, costly or cheap depending on what the player chooses to sell in the long run. Wildlife smuggling requires a hands-on approach as the player must capture animals alive and deposit them to a warehouse. The animals will then be nurtured over time by caretakers until they are ready to be sold. In each business that requires workers to upkeep and/or allow production will take a fee from the player's account, whether it be dirty or clean cash. Smuggling process continued. Packaging. The branding, which is mainly built up to the sale, every business needs some right. Before the selling stages, players are permitted to provide a custom name and preset logo to their drugs if they are distributing them to local buyers. This will give a minor increase in goods value when completed. So players will have to purchase transport vehicles like trucks, vans, or place them into multiple stolen vehicles. During the sell mission, they'll be going through checkpoints. So many vehicles may be more challenging than having one truck loaded with merchandise. For the wholesale experts, utilizing a front for sales is recommended. Customize your sales vehicles with various decals to prevent attention from rival gangs or law enforcement, or going completely blind, taking down whoever gets between you and your payday. The decals can be provided to players if they own a legal business used for illegal activity and personally own transport vehicles. Smuggling process continued. Selling. Wholesale goods can be delivered by land, air, or sea. Then the player is allowed to plan accordingly once they identify a buyer they are willing to sell to. Some may ask for bonuses if delivered a certain way, but the player can choose whatever they like and retain the value of the base product. So there are also long-distance, medium, and short-distance hauls that the player can choose from, as each distance varies from business location and directly determines the amount of law checkpoints, cost guards patrols, and duration that a player needs to fly under the radar for. If currently at a war with an enemy gang, they will additionally be patrolling the area on the ground when crossing through their territory. When wanted by law or gangs, enemies will instead not target the player but the vehicle the player is driving in an attempt to disable it, as this provides a new twist on sales missions to evade and kill pursuers for a payout. Distribution sales are slower and lighter approach to sell missions. Deliver goods to local street dealers across the map, and over time they will accrue profit for the player to obtain, as there is also a chance based on the amount of territory owned that the dealer gets taken down and the player will have to rescue them to recover their profits. All payouts are received with dirty money. Smuggling process, managers, bribes, and rates. Managers can automate the process of businesses for a hefty entrance fee and an additional cut for each payment collected. They benefit those looking for a laid-back experience and to ease up on the grind, but limits the potential of money being made. Rates trigger when merchandise is sitting at a warehouse for an extended period of time, or following territory battles, mass shooting, or when the law takes notice of poorly managed money laundering operation. There is a timer when a raid begins, and once it is finished, supplies, goods, and managers will also begin to deplete until the business is empty, as this restarts all progress at that building. Bribes become available after multiple successful business practices, as you can offer law or various organizations to stand down if they attempt to approach one of your businesses. This does not guarantee that they immediately leave during a raid or wanted level, but it reduces the amount of police or agencies coming after you on occasion, as bribing at law checkpoints is significantly more efficient when you have dirty money already on hand and will prevent them from during a full search. Money laundering process. Processing, the period in which money is being laundered. Not every scene can be laundered at once, like in GTA Online, Nightclub, DLC, or with Lester's Heist. These are based on the standard 12 to 24 hour cycle, depending on the type of business and how long they are open within the in-game day. Casinos and clubs are the best in practice, then goes down to smaller businesses that don't stay as open for long. Maintenance. You're going to want to keep a decently packed business. People coming in and out each day is incredibly important. Advertisements, popularity, and overall sprawl is necessary, as the more people, the more laundering can be done. With a high popularity, the faster money can be laundered at a time. Collection. The most idolized portion of it all, you can collect your money in a bulk after an extensive period or gather it up in portions and keep it nearly in your bank account. There is no cooldown once collected and anything can be purchased, as this does raise concerns about excessive spending in short periods of time, which leads to the next part of this mechanic. Money laundering process continued. Shells and becoming frozen. Shells companies are a new financial system, and when laundering using large amounts of clean cash at once, it'll be recommended to place portions of your money in various organizations. For a cheap fee, a fake business is created automatically to hold those funds, and it reduces the possibility of one of your main bank accounts becoming frozen, rendering the player unable to use legitimate funds for a temporary period of time, as this is to ensure that money laundering is not too easy and to keep an immersive feel to all of the players' financial ventures in the criminal underworld. When your accounts are frozen, there is an increased possibility that one of your businesses is investigated by local departments of federal agents, leading to a raid. Financiaries. At a heightened level of your empire, you can hire managers for a large sum to maintain your money laundering endeavors, and it is less hands-on approach, and the process is slower since the boss isn't directly involved, but it's now easier for the player to engage in other activities after working so hard to develop their empire in the first place, as financiaries come in with specific abilities. Strong arm tactics reduces the chance of having a frozen account but reduces popularity as well. High roller increases speed of money laundered but also increases chance of raids. Jackpot increases value of money laundered but increases chance of being frozen. Treasurer, no additional buffs or debuffs to money laundering. Multipliers remain the same for every scene. So that's all the information we have on this scene today, and if you're interested in more of this type of videos, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. See you in the next one, and peace.